us an update on what's going on there now and how you're able to push forward the case given that they're not cooperating?
Well, we found out just today that she filed her counter affidavit on her case on her case on human trafficking against her, and I was going through the documents earlier, and apparently it was notarized here in the Philippines. So that means she had to appear personally to the notary public in order for that document to be notarized and subsequently filed to the DOJ. So if indeed that notary public is telling the truth, then she's still here in the Philippines because you cannot file your notary public by remote. And that's in the rules of the Supreme Court. So we will look at that angle. That's only this is the latest development today. On top of that, the Senate is ready to file this coming week cases against her on perjury as well as disobedience. And the Senate's not taking lightly of her non-appearance in our hearings.
Her attorney, her lawyer, attorney Stephen David, in the few times that we've spoken to him, broadly he feels like they haven't been given a fair shake, right? For instance, he pointed to the fact that yung mga documents that you found, they were never given a copy of. You only, divulged it in the public hearings, and they find out through the media. How would you react to that?
Well, that's the whole point of inviting her and personally inviting her and to let her personally come to the Senate for her to defend herself and to dispute those findings. Those findings were not only validated by the Senate, but they were validated also by other government agency. A case in point here will be the fingerprints that were used in linking Guo Huaping and Alice Guo. And those fingerprints were validated by no less than the NBI, who is the authority in terms of biometrics and all of this fingerprint validation. So, in other words, it's not only the Senate that came out with those evidence. It's also the government agencies that validated those pieces of evidence and used those pieces of evidence to file cases in courts against her.
Are you confident, Senator, that she is here? I mean, I know you mentioned that her notarized document, you saw it. Are you planning to really investigate and talk to that notary public and ask if he personally saw the former mayor of Bamban?
Because you're right, some notary publics, don't require personal appearance.
Well, in the rules of court, you have to appear personally, and you cannot do that remotely. The Supreme Court already revoked the remote appearance or virtual appearance after the pandemic, and the whole point of the notary public is for the notary public to know that you are a real person and you are attesting to your affidavit. So we're investigating this matter also. But that's the initial reaction that I have looking at the counter affidavit that she filed today.
How far do you want to take the case?
Well, as far as putting people in jail because of the crimes that they did to our country, the human trafficking, the shame, the torture, the prostitution, that's how far I want to take this, because those criminal syndicates should be made accountable and put in jail. And we cannot take this lightly, because if this will not if these criminal syndicates will not be prosecuted, then they will just laugh at us and probably repeat the same criminal activities over again.
But Sen, what about from the other side of the fence? I mean, we can say, of course, no, nakalusot sila sa atin di ba? Are you looking at certain pieces of legislations, amendment to existing laws to prevent this from happening again?
Yeah, a lot actually came out of this hearing. Number one is to legislate a ban on POGOs, and we have a few bills already filed in the Senate, and we're going to hear that. Number two is to fix our late registration system and our birth certificate system. As we all know, Guo Huaping became a Filipino because of the late registration system that was already validated. It was spurious and it was irregular. And number three, we have to also look at the Bureau of Immigration processes, like for example, improve their biometric system, improve their information gathering system, and use that to connect it with other government agencies, so we have faster validation of data, and we will know exactly who are coming here and who are they and what business are they conducting here.
And then lastly, Senator, I wonder if you had any updates as well on the exodus of the Pogos now that President Marcos has said they are banned. Ano yung updates? Is it on track?
Well, we don't have any document yet. I think the last hearing that we conducted, PAGCOR said that they will be conducting an interagency group to look at all the facets of this POGO closures. For example, on employment, on the effects to, let's say, employment effects to the rental and the leasing situation, meaning property issues as well. They're also going to look at Bureau of Immigration issues. For example, if these workers working in Pogos still have live visas, and if they cancel them, what is the mechanism for the Bureau of Immigration to look for them and eventually track them down? So that's the last feedback that we got from PAGCOR. And but anecdotal, people in Pogo already starting to pack their stuff and preparing themselves to go back to their home country. So anecdotally, but in terms of the real plan, we're still going to require Pogo to PAGCOR to submit those plans to us.
Okay, and we will check back in with you at a later date for that. For now, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much for taking time out of your precious Friday night to talk to us, Senator Win Gatchalian.